The English release of Rune Factory 5 is finally here, my friends, and whether you're new to the Rune Factory series or if you're an old fan like myself that have been really looking forward to this new edition, I've put together some things that I really enjoyed about this game and I think that you should know if you're still deciding if you want to get it, and also answer some of the questions that I got from the preview I did last month. A huge thank you, of course, goes out to XSEED for sponsoring and making this video possible. I've been a huge fan of the Rune Factory and Story of Seasons games since the earlier years, yes. But all thoughts and opinions expressed about this game are, of course, my own. I'm just really eager to share this game that have brought me a lot of enjoyment to hopefully new players and other fans alike. By the way, if you're new here, hey, my name is Kat. Thank you so much for joining and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is a little bit of a preview of the changes that I've been making in my PC room. I haven't filmed in here in a while because I've been changing a lot of things around, but hopefully an updated 2022 desk tour is coming very soon. Just a little side note. I know many people who watch my videos as well looking for new games try to avoid story spoilers, so don't worry, I got you. Please enjoy some spoiler-free gameplay today of just me doing, you know, my farming dailies and routine around the farm. We're not going to progress the story much more than what you might have seen if you saw my early preview last month. I went back to one of my earlier saves in the game since the nature of this video is, after all, to share with you, you know, some things you should know if you're just getting started in this beautiful Rune Factory journey. So off the bat, before we even jump in, I just wanted to answer probably the most asked question that I got in the last video, and that is if this game supports dual audio, and yes, it does. You can definitely opt to hear the wonderful work of the Japanese voice actors if you so please, and also on top of that, since this game did release in Japan about almost a year ago now, there has been a lot of patches since the initial release that we can fully enjoy in the Western release. Also, you do not need to have played any other Rune Factory games prior to playing Rune Factory 5. All games are independent in their stories, so you can definitely jump into this one if you're brand new to Rune Factory. Jumping into any Rune Factory game is very easy. If you happen to enjoy your time in Rune Factory 5, you can go into other Rune Factory games as well, and each will offer you a unique experience, and vice versa. Very much like the Story of Seasons games as well. There's always a new adventure waiting for you in each new game. So the general plot of Rune Factory 5, or the core of this game, is that it's like a fantasy Story of Seasons game. It's definitely got all of the farming life sim things that I love so much, but also adding a lot of action-packed RPG adventure elements. If you're new to Rune Factory but familiar with Story of Seasons, you can expect a much more deeper story and complex gameplay all throughout, from the farming and of course all the extra things that you can't find in a Story of Seasons game. So if you're wanting to play something a little bit more than just tending to your crops and everyday farm life, then this is a game that you should definitely check out. It's got a great story, a really rich cast of characters, a lot of skills to learn and level up, and so much more. So Rune Factory 5, quick recap of the preview that I did. It is about a man or a woman. You have the option to choose in the beginning, and you happen upon this sleepy town of Rigbarth with no recollection of who you are, where you are, how you got there. You get the point. Your girl or guy is suffering from a memory loss, and the people in this town has pretty much taken you in, and in exchange for them helping you out and also giving you a place to stay, you are pretty much there to earn your keep and work on this farm that they have, help the townsfolk out with different quests, and you pretty much get to know all these characters and see the story unfold from there. Speaking of farming and tending to crops and all of that, there is a little bit more to that in Rune Factory 5 than just simply watering your crops every day and waiting for them to sprout. There's also soil quality to factor in, different fertilizer that can affect your crops in different ways. There's a way to track whether it would be a good week to harvest a certain crop, that may yield better or worse results, and even farm dragons. Yes, these farm dragons give you another area where you can plant your crops or care for your animals that have varying land conditions, weather, and more. Not to mention, super cute. Different crops thrive in different seasons or soil, and of course is a really good way to maximize your money potential if you plan it well. Here's just a quick look at some of my daily farming, but like I said, there's just so much more to learn and level up, and this will look very different later in the game. There's a lot to experiment with, and reading the on-screen tips definitely help if you're a beginner or just to make sure you're doing the most and being a diligent farmer. With crafting, the tools and weapons that you get in this game are obtained, at least the really good ones to write home about are obtained through crafting. At least the ones that will probably serve you best in game are best obtained through crafting, because you can level them up or even fuse tools with different purposes together. So you can really spend the time finding what works best for your own day-to-day on your farm or your adventures. You can also craft items for your home like furniture and decor, more storage, a kitchen, a forge, etc. and even other structures or buildings to use on your farm, like a barn or a place to store all your resources. So there's a lot to look into just in this area already. You can of course also upgrade your home and other structures in the town as well eventually, and experimenting with all these crafting combinations will be the key to your success to doing your job really well. Quick side tip, if you are looking for something to do, definitely make sure to check the request boards, because it's a really easy way to level up your different skills and of course increase your friendship with the townspeople that are asking for your help. To learn all the recipes that you need for the crafting, there are these things called recipe breads. So top tip, as soon as you can buy these recipe breads, or at least have the budget to, you can get up to 2 or 3 a day, I believe it is. Go and buy these breads early in your gameplay so that you can get to learning all of these crafting recipes. You never really know what you might need along your adventure, and also what can help your life in Rigbarth flourish. At the beginning of the game, the easiest way to get your hands on recipe breads would be visiting the bakery, where you can get 2 each day, and also the restaurant, where you can get 1 each day. You would be able to get more eventually and get recipe breads in other ways as well, but this is definitely the easiest, especially when you're just starting out. There's different recipe breads for crafting, weapons, chemistry, farming, and cooking. There's really a lot to learn here, so this is why I think that it's important to start learning as soon as you can. I also really like that with each recipe, it does tell you exactly what you need to start making it. So in this case, a crafting table, maybe you need a forge or a cooking table, and those are other things that you can eventually build as well. Of course, one of the biggest changes from Story of Seasons to Rune Factory, like we mentioned earlier, is the RPG element, which means a larger world to explore out of the town, and Rune Factory 5 does have a good-sized overworld, with dungeons to conquer and mighty beasts to slay. Besides the already vast town of Rigbarth, there is a lot more to see in the world, so it really encourages the exploration, where you'll find different ingredients to gather, hidden chests, and monsters in each area. Battling monsters and going on these adventure quests are absolutely necessary, whether to gather some key items that you need to progress the story, hunting monster bounties, and of course helping some townsfolk with certain requests as well. There are different weapon types to suit your playstyle: heavy swords, dual blades, battle axe, spear. Maybe you prefer using your fists in battle, or even wave a staff from afar to cast some spells. There is something for every type of RPG player. Monsters aren't just for battling though, you can also tame them to aid you in your battles or even help take care of your farm. Once you get to build a monster barn and put some effort in befriending them, they can live on your farm to produce byproducts which you can sell or use for different recipes and crafting, or if you reach a high enough friendship level, they even help make farm life a little bit easier for you because they can help with watering or harvesting. This can be huge, especially since there is a lot more to your life in Rigbar than just farming. So if you're trying to juggle a lot more in your day-to-day life, monsters. Thank you. The characters, oh my goodness. I cannot wait to talk about the characters because they're probably my favorite thing about Rune Factory 5. There is a lot to love about this game as I'm already gushing about it. Kind of perfect timing to mention this here because we just walked into a surprise little cutscene where we're meeting a couple new characters, and oh my goodness, I love them already. They're so cute. Let's have a look.
Now then, Lady Beatrice.
Excuse me? It won't react if you don't put out your hand.
Oh, of course. Thank you for your help. The soul sphere in the capital gives a reading just by standing in front of it. It's glowing! Look how it glows, Sir Reinhard!
Thank goodness, my lady.
I truly enjoy the characters in Rune Factory 5. The character designs are both outrageous, but also just top-notch stunning. I think the detail in their clothing, their physical appearance, and their personalities all tie together really well. It invokes this feeling of Rigbarth being really alive. They each have a good backstory, in my opinion, that makes sense to their character. There's different dialogue every day and they react to what might be happening in their surroundings, or if there's like a festival happening in town, the different cutscenes or exchanges between the characters or between you and the characters are intriguing and well written. I haven't even met absolutely everybody yet, but I already love everyone so far. It's truly enjoyable to interact with all of the characters that are part of Rune Factory 5, and I enjoy that a lot, and it really adds to the immersion when you're playing this game. So like Story of Seasons and previous Rune Factory games, of course there is an aspect of the building friendships and relationships with the townspeople as well, and of course the marriage option. Increasing your relationship level with each character will bring about different benefits, and you can also eventually ask them to join your party when you go out exploring. This will be super useful when you get to more challenging dungeons. As for the bachelors and bachelorettes, one of the best updates that they added only late last year is the inclusion of same-sex marriage. If you were already having trouble choosing from the bachelors or bachelorettes, well, good luck, because now you have more to choose from, and I am really struggling this time around because, like I said, I so enjoy all of the characters so far. I flip-flop on who I want to woo and romance every single day. I feel like as of right now it is between Martin and Riker, but I know, again, I haven't met everybody, so who knows, you know? There is a total of 12 marriage candidates with 6 bachelors and 6 bachelorettes. Let me know down below who is striking your fancy. Clothing. I know if you watch my channel, you know for a fact that I love being able to customize my characters, being able to change their outfits, and while you're not able to change the physical appearance of the male or female characters in Rune Factory, you are able to express your customization through the different outfits that are available, and also the tools and weapons that you have equipped do show differently when you're using them as well. I really like that they feature clothes from the previous protagonists in previous Rune Factory games as well. There are also a few DLC outfits that we can get, but I really hope that we can continue to see more. Now, the quality of life improvements. I often get asked, the differences between Rune Factory 4 and Rune Factory 5 and which to get on the Switch, but between Rune Factory 4 and this, I would absolutely say if it's your first Rune Factory game, why not check out the latest and greatest Rune Factory 5? While I really enjoyed 4, it is an older game that has been ported from the 3DS. I think it's about 10 years now when I last looked into it. So besides the heavily improved graphics and world, the story is just really fun overall, and like I said, I do enjoy the characters. And along with those new features, of course, they just continue to add all these quality of life improvements and other additions that the creators have learned people loved from the other games or people wanted to change. So Rune Factory 5 is the best that is out there right now, in my opinion. A couple things off the top of my head, for example, is the map improvement. It now shows you where you have to go to progress your quests or to trigger different cutscenes with different characters. And I really love that because before you'd kind of have to know everyone's schedule and kind of feel like you might be stalking them a little bit. You might have to chase them around, or in some instances literally hunt them down just to get that interaction.
Excuse me.
Oh!
And here's a little example of a cutscene chain, let's just call it, that was very easy thank you to the map feature that I was just talking about with one of our bachelors, of course, Martin. It's so easy to follow the story along because we can see where we need to head over on the map, though sometimes it is fun to have that element of surprise for cutscenes. I personally enjoy having this instead. You can always leave it for later, of course, if you want to as well.
Is that okay? Thanks.
The difficulty setting in Rune Factory 5 is also really nice. So say if you're coming from a straight up farming sim that doesn't have all these combat or additional elements to it. Maybe you just want a bit more of a relaxed experience where you can just enjoy the story and your everyday farm life. You can always set this game to the easiest difficulty and you are good to go. Want a bit more of a challenge, then there's something for you too. This is the very first ruins that we unlock early in the game. I have tried this out in all difficulty levels, and I personally find that even at the hardest difficulty, it feels very balanced and fits in well with this type of game. We're not going from like a really relaxing farming game to, I don't know, Elden Ring or something. There really is so much to do in this game, and I feel like there's something for everyone. From a relaxing, slow-paced farm life sim to a fast-paced, action-packed combat. I hope I answered a lot of your questions or maybe shared a good tip or two. Let me know below if you are picking up Rune Factory 5, if this is your first Rune Factory game, or whichever your favorite Rune Factory game is, if you've played more than a couple. I'm really excited to hear from you, and I'm excited to see how much you enjoy this game. I really have been having a lot of fun with it. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me in another gameplay. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.